You can disappear, bro. It's not the end of the world, if you disappear. But I don't mean to disappear and destroy your relationships in a dramatic way. I don't mean to ignore your responsibilities. I don't mean for you to be acting like nobody matters. It's like nobody. That music. I'm just joking. Okay, let's just get to the point. You can step back, right? You can step back. You can go quiet. You can go explain yourself. You can go. How can I explain this? You can disappear without explaining yourself, pretty much. You can start being available to everyone. You can start being that person where people can access so easily, right? Anytime. I'm not saying don't help people, but I'm saying be careful who you help and what version does these people have access to, right? Because uh you could be tired, you could be confused, you can be distracted, you can be drained. You can disappear for a while and it's okay, right? Because sometimes your life doesn't need it doesn't need more silence. You're trying to it doesn't need more noise, sorry. It needs more silence, right? So you're trying to find this. There's no other option, right? You're trying to look for these different options. But there's only one that's gonna help you. You just gotta take a step back. You don't need another conversation. You don't need another person telling you what you should do. You don't need a person, what is it? Making you feel motivated just in a video, just a fake motivation video, pretty much. That makes you feel bad for not being perfect. You don't have to watch these videos. You don't need that one more scroll, right? What you need is sometimes what you really need is really step away from everything, right? And ask yourself this honest question, right? You gotta be honest with yourself, because at some point, not in a negative way, but like, what are you doing in your life? You're gonna be like, what am I doing in my life? Not like you're not in a way that you're attacking yourself, but you're actually confused, right? Because how can I explain this? You don't need like a you don't need a whole plan, right? You can just ask these basic questions. Where am I going? What is this gonna get me to? What are these people? What am I becoming? Why am I repeating these habits? Are they gonna make me build something, or I'm just doing it for the sake of it? Why do I care so much about what people think? Why do I care so much about what people expect from me? Why do I care about the attention of others more than listening to myself and listening to my dream goals, whatever that I want to get to? Why am I giving them the time when they're not giving me the time? Why am I giving other people the time that I need for myself? Why am I giving people the time that's just the mental, the how can I explain this? You don't have to do stuff for people, right? You can do stuff for yourself. Because at some point you don't even know yourself. When you do a lot of stuff for people and you don't do anything for you, when I say that, not in a bad way, obviously, you don't you can't be that person who posts because of people. You can't be that person who does training because of people. You don't want you don't want to upset people because they say you don't reply to them. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. No, man, maybe you're taking a little bit of a break. You go out because you don't want to miss out on something, right? You keep showing up in places that no longer feels right. It just doesn't feel like you want to be there, right? Because why? Because you don't know how to leave it. You don't have the courage, or you don't know just how to leave this place. And slowly, without even noticing, your life becomes less about you. It becomes less about who you are, and about more what people react to you. And that is dangerous because attention can really, I mean, because the attention can become a prison. You can imprison yourself because you're always available at all time. They can just come and visit you at any time because you're always there. You're trying to be liked by everyone, but you're just putting yourself in a prison. In a cage. And sometimes the only way you're gonna escape this prison is to disappear for a while, right? Disappear from these apps, group chats, fake friends. Disappear from that environment that's pulling you back, and you feel like you can't be advancing at a certain point because of this. Don't disappear to make people chase you. Don't be but disappear for a purpose. There's a purpose behind it. Don't disappear because people can say, where have you been? Don't disappear because you know it's not a game. Disappearance, I don't want you to act like it's something that you're baiting people. You want to see who the people who miss you or not. Because real disappearing is different. It's quiet. It's calm. It's like there's like a there's a thing behind it. You don't need to make a big speech. You don't have to post saying I'm entering my healing era. You just stop for a second, brother. Take a deep breath, right? Breathe. Just breathe for a second. Relax. You don't have to rush to do all those things. You have time now. Do your thing slowly. Get into those habits that you like doing. Slowly reset, rebuild. Clean your room, fix up whatever is broken, fix your sleep, go back to training, start eating better, stop wasting hours. You organize your work before you're gonna do it. Start praying, reflecting, thinking. Stop telling everybody your plans and actually start doing them. Because there's a big difference between looking like you are doing something or changing and actually changing, because a lot of people are just addicted to this aesthetic, right? The image of improvement. They like the quotes, they like the aesthetic, they like the gym mirror pictures, they like the idea of becoming a new person. Who doesn't, right? You're becoming a better person of yourself, a better version of yourself. But they don't like the boring process, right? The boring part where your life is gonna change. Because you need to have this not motivation, I would say discipline, right? Because motivation really just comes and goes. The boring part is whenever you wake up, when you said you would, doing the work when nobody's clapping, doing the work when nobody's looking at you. you know the part is not going to back to the person who hurt you. The boring part is to say no to stuff. The boring part, choosing discipline when your emotions was comfort. That's when you're actually building something. Looking at your phone when it's overheating, when too many apps are open, when the battery is adding, when the battery is draining, or it's dying pretty much. What do you do? When that happens? You don't just close your phone, right? You don't just let it rest like that, right? You take a step back. You turn you get up. Not get up. You get out these apps. You close things. You charge it and you reset it. Because your phone is dying, the battery is going down, and you're just gonna let it. You're gonna let it charge, right? You're gonna let it reset. You're gonna let it rest a little bit. You're gonna let it disappear. You're not gonna be holding it 24/7. But somehow, when we're the ones overheating, when our minds are full, when our energy is gone, just like the phone, the battery, we keep forcing it. We keep forcing our smile. We overstay, you know, in life or online, whatever. You have to stay social every time. You have to stay active. You have to stay visible. No, you don't have to. Sometimes you need to restart. Sometimes you can be like, okay, I'm taking a step back. I'm gonna be disappearing. I'm not active that much. It doesn't mean you hate people. It don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean you think you're better than anyone. It means you finally respect your decisions. You finally laid out a plan. You're carrying a conversation, with yourself that you always wanted. Because your energy is not limited, right? Your focus is not limited. Nothing is, I mean, your focus is not unlimited, and your energy is not unlimited. So there's nothing that we have that's always going to be there. Your peace is not unlimited, because at some point your life could be going down the drain, and you obviously need that little bit of energy had left, right? But then you proceed to give it to another person, and you're just gone, you're drained. So it's not because we're lazy. You're lazy. It's just because you're drained, right? So you're carrying guilt for choosing yourself, and I don't want you to think that way, because you're carrying a pressure to always, the pressure to always be seen, the pressure to always, you don't want to be left behind, pretty much, and that is heavy, right? But maybe you don't want to do it no more, but first what you need to do is you need to remove the distractions. You need to remove the time wasting. You need to move the unnecessary access to you. You need to move the bad habits, the habits that keeps you ashamed of yourself, the environments that make you the environment that make you, the old you, feel uncomfortable, right? then you build. That's how you build it up. You can build a routine, build your body, build your habits, build whatever, a plan, your skills, your faith, your confidence quietly. You don't have to act arrogant, you know, and you don't have to rush to show people. That's the important part. Because, like I said, we already talk about aesthetic. You know, you don't rush to prove that you changed, because the moment you start changing, you will feel tempted to announce it. You know, you will want people to realize that you got better, you've grown. You want them to say you look different, you know, a lot of things. But the real growth doesn't need to be defended, right? Yeah, it shows eventually. You know, your decisions will show it, your life, your routines, whatever, you know, your future, your silence. But you don't want, because you won't need to say I changed. People will feel it, right? But even then, don't make people the goal, you know, because disappear for yourself, not for, you know, attention, revenge, whatever it is. Don't make anyone regret losing you, right? Don't be that guy. Don't make people disappear because you are tired of the old version of yourself that you don't respect, right? So just disappear for yourself, man. Don't disappear for others. And you know, how can I say this? When you come back, you don't come back loud just to prove a point. Come back solid, because sometimes the best thing you can do in your life is not to add more. You know, just take a step back, pretty much. It is a step back, right? Because you're stepping back, you're building, you're going quiet, you're building, and let the results speak for itself, right? You can disappear, and sometimes that disappearance is not the end of you, right? It is the beginning of something, right? So just think that it's a beginning, it's a new chapter, you know, you're starting from not zero, you know, but you're starting somewhere. Okay? Okay. I'll see y'all later, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Peace.